Hello, everyone. My name is Willie Casstevens, and for my virtual data center presentation, I chose to complete option B. To start out, let's learn a little bit about data centers. So what is a data center? It's a place, commonly a building, that houses core IT and computing services, and as well as infrastructure. Computer data is stored in place in these physical data center locations. So what's the importance of data centers? Big businesses and occasionally small businesses use data centers for space and power to house their data, such as emails, websites, and online transactions in a secure 24/7 location. So this is important to businesses because they don't have to worry about spending time managing the infrastructure that stores their data and can instead focus their time on their actual business. And then the infrastructure of a data center. All specifics of a data center differ based on the location, but a common data center infrastructure includes lots of servers, wires and cables, power cords and electrical plugs, cooling mechanisms such as fans and air conditioning units. This is to control the heat, many levels of security, as well as room for people to work. So continuing on, learning about data centers, what goes on inside of a data center. Uh, So it varies depending on why it was built, who uses it, as well as the location. Some data centers serve as like co-location facilities or outsourced infrastructure, which are part of a managed service. Some data centers are built just for storing data backups. Some data centers house and handle all of the business's core IT tasks. And lastly, some data centers are solely for the use of one company and its needs. An example of a company would be Google. Google has their own data centers worldwide solely for the use of their company and its needs. The top picture that you see here is from Google's data center in Lenore, North Carolina, which is right down the mountain from Boone. And then the bottom picture is from Google's data center in Dallas, Oregon. A fun fact, 70% of all web traffic on a daily basis in the world goes through Loudoun County, Virginia data centers. Loudoun County is the largest concentration of data centers in the world, with 70 ginormous buildings over 10 million square feet. And they're constantly looking to add more buildings, more data center buildings in Loudoun County. In the top left and top right corner, you can see a couple pictures of two different data centers that are located in Loudoun County. So on the bottom left corner, you can see a map of Virginia, highlighted where Loudoun County is. And then in the bottom corner, you can just see an overview of Loudoun County and then the data centers that are there. So how big are data centers? Data centers can vary in all sizes. Some are just a few hundred feet, while some are over an acre. The largest data center in the world is the China Telecom data center, which is located in Hohhot, China. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's 10,763,910 square feet. You can see a picture of it towards the right. Then the largest data center in the United States, which ranks third in the world, is the Citadel campus, which is located in Sparks, Nevada. It's 7,750,015 square feet. You can see a picture of the Citadel campus below. And then towards the right, the Apple data center. It's located in Mesa, Arizona. It's the second largest in the United States and fifth largest in the world. And it's 1,300,000 square feet. And then so next, where are data centers located? They can be located anywhere. However, most data centers are most frequently found at a place where electricity is cheap and easy to generate on site, a place that is not likely to be affected by natural disasters, a place far enough away from big cities for disaster recovery purposes and avoiding expensive city costs, but close enough to be easily accessible by local and international businesses, as well as a place that can access cooling for equipment and power for air conditioning, water, for heat transfer infrastructure. And then a neat fact that I didn't know before doing my research, is that some data centers are even located underwater or underground. In the bottom right corner, you can see that Microsoft has their own underwater data center. It's 117 feet below sea level in the Orkney Islands, just off the coast of Scotland. So next, in this graphic, we learn about how many data centers there are worldwide as of 2021. There are currently 6,040 known data centers located throughout the world. The United States by far has the most data centers with 2,670. And second is the United Kingdom, which comes in at only 452. So obviously there's a huge gap there. And then both India and Spain are tied for having the least amount of data centers at 123. So next, jumping into the cloud, where anyone can access what they save from where they are. In the new world of the cloud, your files don't have to be on your computer. They can be stored out on the internet with everyone else's. Your phone tablet can retrieve your files no matter where you are. So cloud computing and cloud data centers. Starting out, what is cloud computing? It's the on-demand delivery of IT resources over the internet with pay-as-you-go pricing. Businesses can access technology services such as computing power, storage, and databases from cloud providers. This saves businesses from having to buy, own, or maintain their own physical data centers and services. The three main types of cloud computing. One, infrastructure as a service. It contains the basic building blocks for cloud IT and typically provides access to networking features, computers, and data storage space. Number two, platform as a service. It removes the need for you to manage underlying infrastructure, but instead allows you to focus on the deployment and management of your applications. And then number three, software as a service. It provides you with a complete product that is run and managed by the service provider. Next, what is a cloud data center? A cloud data center does differ from a data center. A cloud data center is a facility that specializes in powering specific service application and workloads. Businesses that make their own software service product or products can house everything they need to run their program or programs on servers in cloud data centers, and their clients can access these business software on the internet. The software program is run on servers inside data centers instead of on someone's individual computer. Next, so who uses the cloud? Businesses and organizations of every type, size, and industry use the cloud for a variety of reasons. Some of these reasons include data backup, disaster recovery, email, virtual desktop, software development and testing, data analytics, and customer-facing web applications. Some examples: the cloud is used by healthcare companies to develop more personalized treatments for patients. The cloud is used by financial services companies to detect and prevent fraud. Then the cloud is also used by video game makers to deliver online games to millions of people around the world. Social media platforms like you see here, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, as well as companies like Netflix all use the cloud as well. And then, so what are some benefits of cloud computing? A couple that I'll mention. One is agility. So the cloud allows easy and fast access to many different technologies. The cloud is also cost saving. The expenses of paying for the use of the cloud is much lower than what you would pay for it if you do it yourself. The cloud also allows you to trade capital expenses and only pay for IT when you use it. And then also it deploys globally in minutes, with just a few clicks on your device. You can expand to new geographic regions and deploy globally, again, just within a few minutes. So next, moving on to Amazon Web Services, AWS. AWS is the world's most comprehensive and broadly adopted cloud platform. Cloud companies like AWS are basically renting computers, storage, power, security, and all the things technicians would normally do on site. AWS offers over 200 fully featured services from data centers around the globe. AWS customers range from millions of fast-growing startup companies, large enterprises, government agencies, and more. AWS customers rely on AWS for lower cost and faster and easy services. If you want to learn more about AWS, what they do, and who they are, I really suggest you watching this short little video, which is on their website, which you can see below. And then I just included this, just some other cloud services that you've probably heard of. Google Cloud, iCloud, Microsoft, Oracle, IBM. So I feel like, at least for me, I didn't really know there were cloud companies necessarily, but now looking at these images, I feel like I see them everywhere, especially online or on ads. So next, we're going to jump into the security. So data center security, what is it? It refers to the physical practices and virtual technologies used to guard a data center against threats and attacks. So why is the security so important at data centers? Due to the sensitive and private information that data centers hold, they have to be both digitally and physically secure. So how secure are data centers? Most data centers are secured both physically and digitally 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Cameras are installed at every entrance and exit and access point in most data centers. ID cards and key fobs are used to gain entry into most data centers, as well as biometric identification has become a very popular way of securing entry into data centers throughout the country and world. So an example is the Google data center security. Google currently has 21 data centers across the country. Like most data centers, Google has very tight security at all their data centers. Google has 6 layers of security on site at each of their data centers. So in layer 1 of the Google data center is the property boundary, which consists of fencing and signage. In layer 2, it's the secure perimeter. So from the time you're on site at Google, they know that you're there, and they're able to do a correlation analysis of where you've been. There are vehicle crash barriers around the perimeter to stop a fully loaded truck from crashing into the front entrance. There are anti-climbing fences, as well as fences equipped with fiber, allowing technology to tell staff if someone is near the fence, or as well as touches the fence. And then there's also thermal and standard cameras, which show video footage clear during the night as well as the day. In layer 3, it's the building access. One person can go through a door at a time. It must have a badge and use facial recognition to gain entry. Even if you have a badge, you must be checked to make sure it's actually you, in the case someone lost their badge, as well as in the case it was stolen. In layer 4, it's the Security Operations Center. It's an area where data centers is monitored 24/7, 365 days a year. You must scan to gain entry into this room. In layer 5, it's a data center floor. It's considered as the as-needed floor. Less than 1% of Googlers ever get to go on this floor. It's only used for technicians and engineers that are allowed to be there and pretty much have to be there. And then in layer 6, it's where disks are erased and destroyed. Drives that need to be destroyed are done so on this floor. Next, so along with all the 6 layers of security, Google has 2 security testing programs put into place. One hires companies to try to break into data centers from the outside as well as the inside. And it's said that getting out of a Google data center is arguably harder than getting into one. You are required to go through metal detection scans each time you leave a floor. So just tying it all together, what did I learn? After doing my research, reading articles as well as watching videos, I felt that I've learned a lot about data centers, cloud computing, as well as security. In relation to data centers, one thing that I've learned that really interests me is that interests me the most, is that 70% of all web traffic on a daily basis in the world goes through Loudoun County, Virginia data centers. In relation to cloud computing, one thing that I learned that interests me the most is that pretty much all the big companies that we use on a daily basis, especially that I use on a daily basis, like social media platforms and Netflix, are all run through the cloud. And then lastly, in relation to security, one thing that I learned that interests me the most is that there is so much security surrounding data centers, from the signage and fencing to badge and ID checks, to the day and night cameras, 24/7, 365 days a year monitoring. I had no idea that there was this much security. Again, rightfully so, that they should have this much security with all the important information that's stored in these centers. But I had no idea that there was so much security. And then again, tying it all together, what are some ways that I can use this information that I've now learned? So with this information, I can use it when I work for a company or organization that delivers services through data centers. In the technology world that we live in today, having an understanding of what's happening in data centers and cloud data centers is crucial for any company or organization that uses a data center. The information I've learned about the tight security in data centers that data centers have gives me trust in using data centers in my future, as well as if I ever decide to create my own company and want to use a data center, I now know how a data center runs and how they store my information, as well as a tight security around it. And then that wraps it up. Here's a list of my references that I used. I appreciate y'all taking the time to go through my slide and watch this presentation. Hope you'll have a great day. Thank you.